with last week's loss to Francis Howe. Just what are you kind of taking away from that? What did you learn about the team going into the playoffs?
Yeah, so tough night, for us. They were very physical, very good football team, and we knew we were going to have to play a really clean game and play really well to be in a ball game with them. And we had 3 turnovers, give up a punt score before the half that kind of was a big swing for us. Down 3 with about a minute to go going into the half turned into down 10. And then we don't get points coming out of the locker room, which, we felt like if we could get points there, that would be, big momentum for us. We don't get points, and then they get points right off the bat afterwards. And it was kind of a catch-up game at that point. And they're just really good. I mean, no shame in losing to a good team as long as you learn from it. And I think we've had a chance to do that and kind of go back on film and see where we made mistakes and how we can clean those mistakes up and kind of turn our attention towards the second part of our season, which, this is why you play. You want to get into the playoffs and put your best foot forward. And that's what we're here to do.
Yeah. You mentioned penalties and turnovers. Just are those kind of the key things that you're focusing on to get your team to that next level to compete with teams like Francis Howe?
Yeah. In all honesty, in order to really beat a team like that, I think you got to have better weight room production, and that's not something that's fixed in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. That's a year-long commitment for 3 years in a row type deal. I mean, they were some really big, strong kids, and we've got big, strong kids too. So I don't want to take away from our guys, but top to bottom on the roster, they were just a little bit bigger and a little bit more physical than us, and that's something that down the road, we're hoping. We can have what they have in terms of, just being physical like that. But I was really proud of our kids for their fight, even when we got down and it was kind of out of hand there, kids were still dialed in. We still had a positive energy. There were comments made from leaders on the sideline, hey, let's go out here and score anyway. And that type of thing. It was good to see them, respond the right way and, didn't have any like weird, finger pointing or anything like that. Just our kids' character is good and it stayed good, even in adversity. So that was a positive.
Even though it was a loss, are you kind of looking at it as it was a good way to end the regular season to kind of get you ready for that next step?
The only negative takeaway, we had a kid get hurt, and, you never want to have a kid get hurt. Whenever you have a kid get hurt in a non-conference game right before the playoffs, that's tough. We lost our left guard, Lars Perkins, in the middle of that game on a kind of just a collision. There wasn't anything really weird about it or bad, just very violent hit from one of their players on him. And he's going to be out for the rest of the year. And then the day before, we lost our starting center. So we're down 2 starters on the offensive line. Stu Llewellyn with a bad injury in practice the day before the game. So, kind of trying to overcome that and having to, mix some pieces in and around. Our kids have been awesome about the challenge of that. And I think the mindset's really good going forward with what we have. And so, no excuses type deal. We're going to be ready to play football and kind of rally behind, losing those guys.
That was kind of my next question, just injuries. Like, where are you guys health-wise? Are those your 2 big injuries going into playoffs?
Yeah, I think that's it. But it's a lot. We lost a lot of experience right there with those 2 guys. They've started almost every game this year. Definitely been a factor in every single ball game. And it's tough to have them, right before the season goes into, the second season, to not have them around. High character kids. Lars and Stu both have been, they've been really good, leadership guys, really good in the film room. And, it's a tough blow for us, but they're going to be okay in the long run, and our guys are going to recover from it. And that's just what we got to do.
Looking forward to this Friday with Hickman. You guys have faced them before, obviously, but kind of different stakes this time around. Just what are you expecting out of that game?
Well, this is the first time that as an offense, at Rockbridge, I've had a chance to watch the team that we've, kind of seen how they at least defended us the time before. So that's kind of fun to go back and as a coach, try to learn from something that you're getting to show film to your players of stuff that they did versus an opponent. So that's kind of a new feeling. But at the end of the day, it's from here on forward, it's about us taking care of the football. It's about us, having good alignment. It's about us, producing whenever it matters, completing the open throw and that kind of a thing. So we've just got to take care of business and got to be sharp. And I think that comes from a focus in practice. It comes from, just a desire to continue the season. It's hard no matter, what age you are, but I think it's even harder as a high school kid to be where your feet are and to not look ahead. You got basketball right around the corner for some of these guys. And some of them are ready to, think about baseball season in the spring or track or whatever it may be. And just having that maturity to say, hey, we've got a job to do and we're going to go out and do it to the best of our ability and really rally around our seniors who, for some of them, this Friday could be the end of it, and never put pads on again. So there's a lot to think about, but hopefully our kids are going to handle things in a focused, mature way. And, I believe that they will.
Hickman hasn't had the best regular season, but just what have you seen out of them? And do you think there's going to be any particular challenges for your team this Friday?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's a rivalry game. Providence Bowl 2.0 again here. And, when we played them the last time we played them, they were very banged up. I don't know that we saw, necessarily their best lineup per se. But credit to Coach Alvis. Those kids played really hard that night and nothing came easy. I mean, they got to stop in the red zone on us. There were some third down and long situations that we were fortunate to pick up that, weren't necessarily great for us. I think that we've got a lot of things that we can improve on from that night. But it's always a tough night whenever you play Hickman and you're Rockbridge.
Yeah, just going further into these playoffs, just some of the biggest things that you guys are honing in on.
Yeah, just want to be sharp, get your base stuff to work. We pride ourselves in being, a double G team on offense. We're going to run double G and try to figure out a way to make it work. And there are some little small aspects of that we can clean up and improve on. And those are things that we've been focusing on here this week, is just trying to dial in and kind of perfect some of our base stuff that, sometimes you lose sight of, getting cute and trying to, scheme people. And we just need to line up and play football and play it hard and do it the right way.